ep8.
Welcome back to Tech ER. A few weeks ago, we talked all about home theaters and what you need for one. One of the possibilities we mentioned was a projector. But how do you choose the right one, and what do you need to know to make this choice? Our tech host, Romain, is back to tell us. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So projectors.
Yes.
This is exciting.
So as you mentioned a couple weeks ago, I did talk about home theater systems, speaker systems, and I believe in the past, I think Lou talked about like LCDs and plasma screens and things like that. So we're going along those that theme and talking about like home theaters.
Cool.
Which is actually a very growing trend these days. Not everybody wants to go to the theater anymore and pay like 20 bucks for a bag of popcorn or something like that, you know?
You know, I love the popcorn, but I gotta agree with you.
It's getting pretty expensive. So
is.
This is an alternative. And one of them is definitely a projector.
Yes.
Now what I'm going to do today is just provide you with a few tips on how to actually choose the right one for you and your space and whatever you're trying to do with it.
For your needs.
Yes,
All
exactly.
Right. Cool.
So there are a few things you want to consider when purchasing a projector, and what I'll actually start off with is just some of the technical things, just to get that out of the way.
Perfect.
And the two things you want to consider when you are purchasing a projector is the lumens and the contrast rate. Okay.
So I've heard of contrast rate, but lumens, I don't even know what that means.
So the lumens is simply refers to the brightness of the projector. Okay, so it's pretty simple.
Yes.
But basically, the brighter the projector, the better. All right, because of course the projector is casting an image of light, so it's light being casted onto a screen. So you want to make sure it's as bright as possible. And generally speaking, you want a projector that is able to cast a sharp, crisp image in a ambient type of light. So not having to turn off any lights or close the blinds in order to increase the contrast of your projector. So a projector that can do that is actually really good.
Yeah.
So the rate of that would be like 1,000 lumens.
Okay.
That is, I would say, your beginner rate to start with.
All right.
And then going up from that to maybe 2,000, 3,500. So the higher the better.
Right.
Which makes
the
your
more crisp the image.
Exactly.
Right? All right. Perfect.
Now the contrast also deals with your image as well.
Yes.
The contrast refers to the very darkest and the very lightest of your image being outputted by the projector.
Okay.
So basically, the higher the contrast, the higher the impact of your image, and giving you a lot more like oomph, as they say, to your image. So making it a lot more nice to watch on screen. Okay. So the lumens and the contrast are the two main, I would say, technical things that you need to be concerned with when purchasing your projector.
Now enough with the boring stuff.
Not enough with the boring
stuff.
All right. So there are a few other things that you got to consider. There's also the space. All right. So that's crucial because you want to make sure you're getting the right projector for your space. Okay. Now, depending on what your theater room is in your home, I don't know if you have one or
how
if it's
elaborate it is.
Yeah, exactly. Or just your living room. You want to get the appropriate one because if you have one that is too small for the space or one that is too powerful for the space, then you're going to lose some image quality there.
Exactly.
Okay. So you want to make sure you get the right one that's compatible for it. Okay.
Cool.
Another thing you want to consider is what exactly you're going to be using your projector for.
Okay.
Now, yes, you can use it for movies,
but
again, it's just a way of casting an image. So you can use it for, you can hook it up to your, your PlayStation 3 or your Xbox. You can hook it up to your computer. You can hook it up to your digital box and watch television. But you want to keep in mind that maintaining these projectors can be very expensive. So I wouldn't suggest
going too crazy.
Yeah, going too crazy. Like, I wouldn't suggest watching TV on a projector. I mean, that's going a little bit overboard.
It's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, regular television will be just fine, and I wouldn't suggest video games either.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, because you don't want to devote too much time on it because there is a limited lifespan on the bulbs.
So you want to kind of save it for special occasions.
Yeah, save it.
Maybe you have people over, you all want to all watch a movie together.
Exactly. You don't want to do too much time on it because typically a bulb in one of these projectors will last anywhere from, like, I would say 2,000 hours.
Okay, that's pretty good. Not too bad.
Now, when that goes, to replace the bulb is actually quite expensive.
So you might have to get a whole new projector.
Well, yes and no, but you can replace the bulbs, but they can be very expensive. Exactly. So like $300-400 just to replace it.
We don't like that. We want to avoid high costs.
Exactly. So yes, just consider your usage and what you're doing with it, and that's important as well.
All right.
Now, you also want to consider how you're going to be mounting the projector. Okay. Now, you can also hang it. You can hang it from a ceiling. You can put a floor mount in your house. These different things like that.
From a ceiling. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you want to consider that, just because you may need some extra accessories,
right.
some brackets, whatever the case may be. You just want to keep that in mind when you go into the store, so you know what you're asking for and what you're talking about.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Definitely.
So the one that I have right here is just a very basic,
let's take a look here.
Very basic projector here. So just very simple controls on the top. On the back here we have just some regular plugs here. So we have the VGA connection, S-video. We got the video in, audio as well on there, and also your power. So this is a very basic one that you can get. This is about $500.
Okay.
All right. So this is very simple, and it can go from this all the way up to like $4,000, $7,000 projectors.
Really?
All right.
Wow, that's pricey.
So I don't know if you want to spend that much money on a projector.
I wish I could, but I don't think I'm quite at that level yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day, right?
But yeah, that's the kind of money you can spend on one of these things. But I would say that they're actually really, really cool to have in your home, especially when watching movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it just kind of takes it to the next level, I think, right?
A whole new experience.
Yeah, very cool.
And then if you add the surround sound, which I talked about previously.
Yes, then it's like a whole theater.
A whole theater experience.
You never need to go to the movies again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
I'm encouraging to be like homebodies, just like hermit at home, sitting home, watching movies.
I know, you seem to be encouraging that. No need to spend money outside of the house.
Not at all.
All right, so what else can you tell us about this?
Well, this one that I have here is actually a very, I would say, popular model, because it's like a basic one.
Yeah, okay.
So this, I would say, would work for any situation, whether you're doing presentations or you're doing your movie thing or whatever the case is. You can definitely use something like this.
Perfect.
This particular one, the lumens rate on this one is 1,500. Sorry.
Okay.
So 1,500 lumens. So that's a good place to start.
Okay.
And again, going higher than that, the better.
Right.
All right.
It's a good jumping off point.
Yes, exactly. All right, so this is actually a very good one. As you can see, we've got some of the connections here.
Yeah.
And the connections can determine actually also the quality of your image as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right. Now, you can also connect this to your computer with a regular VGA cable.
Okay.
So that looks like this.
Oh, you've just got one right here.
Yeah, I always come prepared.
Okay,
all right?
perfect.
So this is your typical VGA cable that you would see in terms of connecting your monitor to maybe your laptop or your computer. You could just use the same thing, connect this from here to your laptop, and it works just fine. So if you have maybe some YouTube videos or some family videos you want to show from your computer, you can also do it on the projector as well.
Now, what about audio options, like for connecting?
There is audio options on this one, but it's just your typical,
your standard
your
plug.
Standard plug for audio.
Yeah.
Again, with different models, you can get into much more elaborate configurations for audio and get some surround sound going and all that kind of stuff. But typically, you wouldn't want to run your sound through your projector, just because the speakers aren't very powerful on this anyway. You'd run it through maybe your surround sound system and the speakers that you have like on the ground.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Now, how complicated, this is what I want to know, how complicated is this actually to hook up and everything? Do you need a professional to come and do it, or can you kind of teach yourself using the manual?
You know what, depending on your level of technical savvy that you have, you
hopefully
could
elevated after watching this
Exactly.
segment.
I mean, you could hook it up yourself. It's very basic. I would say if you can put a DVD player into a television and get that working, you could probably do this too.
Then you're in a good place
Yes,
to do
because
this.
I mean, technology has allowed for things to become a lot simpler now. We have something called plug and play, where you just plug it in, you're ready to go. It configures itself, and that's it.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks so much, Romain. That was a really cool segment, and I definitely learned a lot. I didn't know a lot about projectors before. Now I kind of feel like I have what it takes to ask the right questions to pick one out. Thanks so much, and it's definitely an awesome thing to have for any home theater. After the break, we're going to bring back all of our tech hosts for a quick discussion and a tech tip from Nguyen. Stay tuned.
Tech ER.